We live in a time where sharing has become a reflex. People upload everything: their meals, their trips, their outfits, their carefully curated faces from every flattering angle. Social media turned into a giant stage where billions put on a daily performance, chasing hearts, likes, and validation. But then, there are the outliers. The ones who never upload a single photo of themselves. The ones who turn down group pictures with an easy smile. The quiet observers at gatherings, present, attentive, but never performing. The ones who seem completely comfortable being unseen in a world that begs to be noticed. Maybe that's you. Maybe it's someone you know. And if you've ever wondered why someone would choose invisibility in an age obsessed with visibility, the explanation runs much deeper than most people assume. Let's start with the biggest misconception. When someone doesn't show their face online or avoids being in the spotlight, people often assume the worst, that they're insecure, socially anxious, antisocial, or damaged. But here's the unexpected truth. Some of these people are actually the most emotionally secure individuals in the room. Those who constantly post photos are, consciously or not, reaching for something: validation, recognition, a digital reflection confirming their worth. And that's not wrong. Humans need connection. But the people who stay offline? They've already found something many spend their whole lives searching for: a sense of worth that isn't determined by anyone else. Think about it. If you already trust your own value, why would you need strangers to verify it? If your identity is steady, why would you need an online audience reinforcing it? They're not hiding. They simply don't need external confirmation. And in a world fueled by validation addiction, that's quietly radical. But there's more to it. Not everyone who avoids attention does it from strength. Some do it because life taught them to protect themselves. Maybe friends betrayed them. Maybe being open once felt dangerous. Maybe they were judged, mocked, or misunderstood so many times that exposure became a threat rather than a connection. So they withdraw, not out of coldness, but caution. This isn't antisocial behavior, it's emotional armor. Psychologists call it avoidant attachment or hypervigilance, a pattern born when the world felt unsafe. These people aren't avoiding others, they're avoiding hurt. And can you blame them? Posting a photo means opening yourself to commentary, comparison, expectations, the endless pressure to perform. For some, the easiest way to stay at peace is to step back, share less, and keep certain parts of their lives sacred. Then there's introversion, another misunderstood layer. Introverts don't dislike people. They simply find social interaction draining, even online. Posting a photo isn't just tapping upload. It's an emotional transaction. It invites responses, messages, attention, noise. Solitude to them isn't loneliness, it's breathing space. It's where their thoughts become clear, where they recharge, where they can exist without being observed or evaluated. Their quiet isn't avoidance, it's energy preservation. And society often mistakes that for coldness. But here's the fascinating part. Some people avoid sharing their photos because they value authenticity more than performance. They see social media for what it is: a highlight reel, a polished illusion, and they refuse to be part of that show. They won't distort themselves for approval. They won't shrink their identity into a filter or a caption. To them, their true self is something deeper than pixels. They'd rather stay unseen than become a curated version of themselves. That's not isolation, that's integrity, and it takes courage to make that choice. So the next time you notice someone living quietly, don't assume they're hiding. They may be confident, cautious, introverted, or simply uninterested in performance. In a world shouting for attention, the strongest statement is knowing you don't need any. Here's something most people never consider about constant online performance. There's an actual psychological term for it: audience fatigue, or even self-objectification. Research shows that frequent self-posting rewires the brain to view yourself as something to be judged. You start seeing yourself through other people's eyes. You become both the actor and the critic. And that duality? It's exhausting. Harvard researchers found that frequent selfie posters score higher in narcissistic traits, but lower in self-compassion. Think about that. The more validation you chase, the harsher you become toward yourself. Every post becomes an evaluation. Every upload becomes a test you have to pass. But those who never post, they step out of that cycle entirely. They don't allow algorithms to decide their worth. They don't hand strangers the power to judge them. In doing so, they protect something incredibly rare today, a stable inner identity that isn't shaken by comments or numbers. So when someone refuses to post pictures, don't jump to conclusions. They might be among the most mentally grounded people you know. They're building their sense of self privately, away from noise, away from evaluation, away from the relentless pressure to keep proving themselves. Now let's talk about solitude, because spending a lot of time alone changes a person. Solitude sharpens emotional intelligence. You begin noticing patterns in your thoughts, your reactions, your inner world. You read people more easily. You understand yourself at a depth others rarely reach. Many creators, thinkers, and dreamers choose solitude because it feeds their creativity. They prefer deep conversations to small talk. They value meaningful bonds over numerous ones. But solitude also has a darker side. Some are alone not because they chose it, but because life pushed them there. Maybe they lack close friends. Maybe the relationships they have feel surface level. Maybe their family never truly understood them. So they act strong. They guard their softness. They keep their distance. This is protective solitude, relying on themselves because relying on others once ended in pain. Yet underneath that quiet exterior, there's often a small, unspoken hope that someone might notice and ask, "Are you really okay?" Here lies the paradox. Solitude can feel like freedom or like isolation. It can be comforting or deeply lonely. It can bring peace or highlight invisibility. Some days, being alone feels beautiful. Other days, it feels like fading out of everyone's awareness. That tension, the peace of being alone versus the ache of being unseen, shapes people more than we realize. These individuals aren't broken. They are thinkers, feelers, survivors, quiet warriors navigating a world that often misunderstands them. They remind us that fulfillment isn't always found in crowds, that strength can be silent, that connection begins internally, not externally. So why do these people avoid photos? Why do they choose solitude? It isn't about vanity or insecurity. It's about protecting their peace, their boundaries, their authenticity. They don't need validation because they already understand their worth. And that, truly, is a rare and powerful thing. Here's the truth. Whether you embrace solitude or seek connection, neither defines your value. Understanding your motives, what's healing, what's protective, helps you move through life with more clarity. And sometimes it reveals something else. The world is still waiting for the real you, the one who has been growing quietly, healing quietly, becoming stronger than anyone realizes.